The last full week of November 1874 was unseasonably warm. Much of the recent snowfall melted, leaving in its place a quiet, gloomy mantle of fog. In many areas of Great Britain, transportation was next to impossible, as the dense haze severely limited visibility, and snowmelt caused rivers and streams to burst their banks. Amid the general chaos, meteorologists were concerned by irregular readings from their barometers. Despite these ominous signals, however, no one seemed prepared for the mayhem to come. When it arrived, the gale raged for 3 days without ceasing, the worst storm meteorologists had seen in many a year. The north was blanketed in snow, while the south succumbed to floods. Grim tales of shipwrecks populated the press, which did its best to keep up with the growing lists of drowned sailors. For the whole of Sunday, the 29th of November, 1874, the great storm was unrelenting. It was clearly a day for huddling around the fire with a hot tea and a good long book, not for venturing out into the driving wind and rain. Not everyone was so wise. Picking its way across the shooting fields of rural Oxfordshire was a horse-drawn carriage. Inside was the anxious and heavily pregnant Lady Randolph Spencer Churchill, who was pushed into labour, prematurely as the story goes, by the combination of the low-pressure storm system and the violent shakes it had given to her buggy. Lady Randolph, known as Jenny, had only married the controversial politician Lord Randolph, the younger son of the 7th Duke of Marlborough, some 7.5 months previously, following a whirlwind courtship. In spite of her condition and the foul weather, she had joined the guns on the 2,000-acre estate at Blenheim Palace, the family seat, for a weekend of shooting and dancing. It was the event of the season, the St. Andrew's Ball. Alerted to the emergency, palace staff hurriedly prepared a makeshift birthing room. The ground-floor room they chose was not perhaps ideal. For decades it had been used variously as furniture storage, as servants' quarters, and a cloakroom. However, it had the virtue of being close to the main door, so that Lady Randolph had the shortest possible distance to walk or be carried as she entered the 186-room palace. Servants carried a horsehair mattress down the grand staircase and made the young woman as comfortable as they could before the country doctor, who lived in nearby Woodstock, managed to make his way to Blenheim. He had still not arrived by around 1:30 in the morning on Monday the 30th of November 1874, when, with the storm still raging outside and after a difficult 8-hour labour, Lady Randolph Churchill's first son made his hasty entrance into the world. The boy's first name came from his paternal grandfather, his middle from his mother's father. He was dubbed Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill, though it would be years before he would go by any such name. For now, the wonderfully pretty baby with dark eyes and hair was little Winnie.